Dick Tracy is an underrated movie, and the Campfire Cascades are an underrated headphone. These were loaned to me by a fan who sat on them, and now they do this. So if you see any point during their review where they're doing like a full 360 spin, that's not normal. But accept it, and I'm kind of into it now. So, Campfire doesn't make headphones. They make IMs. So why did they make these? Because they wanted to make a set of headphones that sounded like IMs. And I know that sounds ridiculous because, unless you're doing the neurophone thing where it's actually giving you the penis in the ears sort of scenario, how do you pull that off? Apparently, through 3 years of research, because I can safely say that these are one of the only closed back headphones I've ever put on that literally remind me of what it's like to wear an IM. And so applause, Chewbacca applause. Bravo. They are, like I said, closed back. They're not cheap, not even a little bit cheap. In fact, I always look for things on Amazon first. And on Amazon, and I don't know why this is, there are tons of sellers selling new and used for $1,100. $1,132.60 to be precise. $1,133.60. I don't know what his number is. All Japan, positive, amazing Japan. Yet if you go to the Campfire Cascade website, which will be linked in the description, they're $800. So, unmistakably, Campfire audio sound. Yes. I can actually say yes to that. 42mm beryllium, PVD diaphragm, dynamic driver, aluminum and stainless, blah, 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 3 years of precision. You can read all this stuff. Tech specs, 5 to 33 hertz. 33,000 hertz. I believe it. 100 decibel sensitivity. Yeah, they're real efficient. I believe it. 38 ohms. 13 and a half ounces without cable, which is actually pretty weighty, but they're made of metal, so there you go. Anything else I want to talk about? No. Leather, sheep leather, detachable pads. Yeah, okay. Let's talk about the package. So, I should have grabbed this first. Anyone who knows anything about Campfire knows you get their IMs like this, and it comes in this box, and you open it up. So I think it's kind of adorable that they literally just blew that up for their headphones. Nicely done. That's kind of weird. And then their cases are these cases, which this is the Andromedas, which I have to review them for another thing. I have to bring the Andromedas back out. But you get this like nice hardened leather, and it's got that soft fuzz in there. Oh, it's so cute and adorable. And then you get this case, and you open it up, and it's leather, and it's got the fuzz inside. It's like, oh my god, it's so cute. Sorry, pasta's rubbing off on me. So let's leave that open because there's some stuff in there we need to talk about. Build. Other than the fact that someone sat on these and they now can do this, which is not normal, I hope they're able to go flat like this on their own because I really don't know. I don't have a not broken set. But they don't sound broken, so that's fine. Headband. Then over here, but then once it starts coming up to here, you get a nice thick enough cushion. They're not that heavy that you need to have like Coney nuggets, but it's thick enough. Campfire audio. A little sharp in the corners, but I'm not going to complain about that, although it is a rather expensive headphone. Adjust easy. Some headphones I literally can't adjust them when they're on my head, and that's annoying. What I'm going to complain about is pretty much the Achilles heel of every headphone is the wire, the default wire. This is the default wire, and it looks like this one's been, I don't know, thrown into the engine bay of an old diesel truck, and then the serpentine just sort of spun it around and kinked the shit out of it. But it's lit silver cable wrapped in fabric, and it's seen better days. It still works. It's got this nice 45, kind of like the V-Moto cable does. It has Campfire audio, or has the logo. So it ain't as much janked as it is borked. Yeah, borked, it's another word. Add it to the list of things Zio says. And it's got the split, and then you come to the ends, and I don't know why, Campfire, why you do this to me? Why do you give me the connectors HG800 to use? They're very heavy, by the way. These are also very, like, Like, this whole wire is lightweight and easy, and the headphones should be lightweight and easy. And you put these, like, 1 ounce. This feels like a shotgun slug. These feel like 1 ounce shotgun slugs just on the end of this little dainty wire. And this makes it hard to get alternate cables, because you got to spend HD800 cable money to get it. And these are really a portable set, so you're sort of borked. I'm using, actually, an alternate cable the owner sent it with. That is a 2.5mm balanced, and I'm using the Monoprice balanced adapter. They had this on there for a couple weeks, where it's a 2.5mm female. Goes boop boop. Then that gets to plug in, and I can boop boop boop, and I can plug it into my 789, and I could smile. I don't know who made this cable. Maybe you guys can identify it. So it's got the carbon fiber there, and then a wood barrel split here, and it uses this style of connector here, which is much, much lighter than the ones they're using from Campfire. And there's our plug, which goes angled up into this. And when I pull the pads off, I'm going to pull the pads off of this for a second, because they're all just magnetized on here. Okay. Don't lose this. This is coming up. Spoiler alert. This is coming up. Yes. Okay. When you pull it off, there's really not much headphone here. Usually, if I'm talking about a closed-back headphone, you need to put some space behind it. You got to do some tuning. And this is like, there's the driver. There's this piece of fabric over it. You could see this very faint white behind this fabric. You see the 4 magnets that hold it on. And you see there's like nothing here. I'd say it's 5/8 of an inch. And that's not including the, like, that is including this plastic that's actually holding the driver in place. So there's your protected driver. There's the vent. And that's it. So there's not much space. And you'd think with not much space, you wouldn't get any soundstage. You wouldn't get any bass or depth. Holy fuck. Wrong. Wrong as usual. Let's put on a set of pads. Now, it comes with 2 pairs of pads. And I'm going to remove the filters. And we'll talk about the filters. I like the filters, I like the bass, but I digress. So you get the sheepskin, sheep leather, and then you get, I guess, what would I call this? Cloth? Perforated cloth. And I prefer the perforated cloth for both comfort and sound, but I'm going to talk about both of them. If you're just talking about them straight up without getting into the filters yet, these sound more open because they literally are. If you're going into public places, you're going to want these pads on them because they don't leak sound. But if you want more open, airy, more relaxed sound, this is what you're going with. And that's my choice in most moving around doing things headphones. Let's put that back up. To the filters. So, how do these headphones sound, Zeos? Because they're $800, and just get to the fucking point. Because am I spending $800? I've listened to quite a few portable headphones, like headphones designed to be put in your backpack or put around your neck, and you go on a plane, or you go in your, I guess I want to say bus, but I don't think anyone riding a bus all day is going to ride with an $800 headphone. But maybe you're taking it on a business trip, maybe you have an office where you can keep a pair of headphones there. These are now those headphones. They were the Odyssey EL8Cs. Those were like the go-to. They're still great, the closed back planar, but they were extra heavy and had a couple little flaws with it. And the build I said was great, but people are saying they're falling apart. And I think if you're willing to get out of that $300, like $400 and below range of portables, B&O H6s, the One More Tridents, things like that, things I love down there. If you want the next step up, it's probably going to be the Cascades. Because they sound like an IEM. They sound like a Campfire IEM, which is saying a lot, because Campfire makes some very, very decent IEMs. Let's throw some pads on, and we'll throw some... Let's look at this. All right, excuse me? I'll look at this. So, this is probably blowing up the camera, but every set comes with 4 variations of a plastic... I want to call it plastic. It's like a fine mesh... I don't know, fine mesh filter which you could see through. I mean, I could probably touch the lens with it, and you could see through it. Can you see through it? Is it cool? And the notches around the outside, as you can see here, this one has 3 rounded notches, which means it's a 4T. So that's how you identify. Oh, GMS is contacting me. No, Campfire, shush. Shush, boy. 4T, and then I have this one here, which has only 1 notch on top. That's the 1T, which is a 7 nanometer. You got 7 nanometer, 10 nanometer, 12 nanometer, and 15 nanometer. And the point of the different filters is you place them. This is a permanent filter, and this is where you place the add-on filter. And when you put it there, so these are the solid ones. Let's do, they're different bass levels. The further down the spectrum, the more bass. So more bass, less bass. These are honestly some of the more bassy headphones I've listened to, like ever. So let's go with less bass. Let's go with the 4Ts. So we're going to want the ones with multiple tabs, which are not here. Put that down, that one. We're going to place it here. I'm going to place this one here. And I'm putting them on the more open pads because I just like the feel of them a little better. These are not bad. These are just a more intense listening scenario. So we put them this way, right? We got left and right. And I hope you can pick them up like this because I'm about to do it. Magnets are strong. And now you've installed those particular filters. So these should dim the bass just a little bit. Excuse me if I don't use the stock cable because F it. And it's an IM company. They know how to make IM cables. Just give me an IM cable. Why wrap it in fabric? What's the point? Why give me stupid dumb connectors? Is there a red dot on that one and no red dot on this one? So right is here. Oh, gentle. I hate these connectors. I hate that they're not just... They have tons. You could put a 1/4-inch jack in there if you wanted to. And everyone could have used all their normal stock cables. But no. As far as comfort goes, you are hard-pressed to find ones that are more comfortable than this. Those pads, the actual shape and size, are basically ideal. They're ideal. They're the perfect size for portability and distance and comfort. The only thing I feel when I do like that is the weight. The weight of all this metal is pushed out because thick pads, so you get a little bit of jiggle that way. The headband isn't heavy, so that rests. So it's all concentrated here. I think as long as you're not trying to like go on a cross-country jog, you're going to be just fine. So let's shuffle through some tracks. 9 Inch Nails down in it, but the string quartet version, because I'm a fancy boy. And that's why they're $800, because how the fuck did you do that? How you do that? I don't understand it. Because it sounds like an IM. It sounds like it's going in my ear. It's very... IMs usually sound a little bit more personal. They get way up in your space. Because they're literally in your space. And they don't have that, like, pad echo. They remove, like, all this problem that usually a headphone comes up with. And I can fucking sense it with these. And I don't get it. And I love it. I don't get it, and I love it. I actually talked to Campfire, and the guy's super cool, and he's like, hey, if you want to review it. So I'm glad someone sent it to me, because now I could just say, without any of their influence, it's like, I fucking love these headphones. I love the way they feel. I love the way they fit. I love the way they sound. I love the options if you want to tune it. I went from the highest bass to the lowest bass, and I touched with the little ones in between. They come with these little plastic envelopes that you could just like fold it in the middle of. And you're probably going to end up going with either the most or the least, or the owner actually left them off entirely, so he had just an insane amount of low end. If you want insane low end, put no filter on. That was too much for me. Sorry, bro. Backing the hell up. Too much for me. These have the least amount of low end, and I can still put on something that's a string quartet and go, fuck. Because it's such a... 42 millimeters is a tiny driver, and there's no airspace. You looked at how much airspace there is, so I don't know how they're making the bass go. But they're tuning it to make the bass go. And then you get the imaging and the clarity, and it's like, oh, well, these aren't your run-of-the-mill $300, $400. I've had one or two instances where the treble got a little bit like, ooh, like, do I want this much treble in my headphone? And then I get over that. And I've had one or two instances where I'm like, ooh, the Sendy Ivas, those are $600. And those are an intense personal sound, like right in your space. So are those competition with these? And these are a little bit more... bassy, trebly. I don't know if they image better. Sendys are God right now. Sendys are like the headphone under $1,000. So of course I'm going to compare against them, at least in my head. And I know none of you have heard the Sendys because it's not a Schiff 9500. It isn't $100 and you're buying it. So the fact that I'm arguing with myself here is like, oh shit, Zios, are you losing your mind? A little bit. Just a little bit. It's okay. People need to lose their mind every now and then because they really need to assess themselves. Holy fuck. Hold on, I'm just going to ride this one out. That's Mr. Robot. We are finally awake.ra from the volume 2. And that was just... these are some scary ass headphones sometimes. Like they hit you with some music and you don't expect it to be there, and all of a sudden you're there. It's like when you ever turn up IMs a little bit too loud, like really good ones, not cheap shitty ones that are like rah, 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 like really clear, good imaging, sharp Tin T2 Pros with a little bit too much volume are like, wow, stop. That's what these are like, but with less stop. They sort of like are wow, and then you just let it happen. Like being stabbed by the most beautiful woman in the world. Just like she's coming over to you and she's like, hi, how are you doing today? And you're just like, oh, baby, gimme. But it isn't always like that. I don't want to image these as like, oh my God, Zio said they're very intense and scary and you can't use them. Because no, when you get to music that isn't that particular thing, Don Quixote, you could meditate in these. They have a almost impossible amount of range for genres. Intense music becomes more intense, relaxed music becomes more relaxed. And then you could tune individually if you want to have even more fuck you, or more bass, or you just take out the filters entirely. The whistle in this song, and this is from the Hellsing OST, not the stupid movie, the original anime from like early 2000s. That whistling, which I can't play much of because I know Japan will come and copyright strike this whole video, is just flawless. It's a flawless sound. It could be argued they have too much bass. And even with the filters, I would almost say double the filters if you really want to get something gone. Or put a piece of tape over it if you really want to quell that down. I enjoy it because if I'm going portable, I tend to turn into a bit of a gangbanger. I put on the chains. I put on Run the Jewels. That's me outside this house every moment. And they're perfect for that. But if I'm sitting here and I'm just like, you know what? I'll listen to some violins. Some fucking amazing violins. I want a little less bass, but it doesn't really intrude unless you get to those frequencies. I think Campfire has done pretty miraculous things with these headphones. I know why they're pricing them at 800s because most of their IMs are around there. So you could either get a set of IMs. You can get the Andromedas are like 1,000 or 1,100, or these. And what has a better use case for you? Are you wearing them and you want them to be in your ears, like in your ears? Or do you want to try something that sounds like an in your ear, but isn't? Because it's just sometimes more convenient to just have a freaking headphone. You ever try to game on your desk with an IM? What do you end up doing? You end up plugging it in and then unplugging it, walking around to the bathroom and plugging it back, and you never want to take them out of your ears. These are great. They're $800. I wish they were $500. At $500, I just throw these at people. These would be the review. It'd be the Sendy Ivas or these or Mardhouse Argons. It'd just be a great little list. At $800, you're starting to get into that, like, that's pricey. Do you need them? What do they do better than what I currently have? And unless you're like really into the IM sound, specifically the Campfire IM sound, where it's just clarity and for days hitting you in the eardrum, I want to recommend them. They're just pricey. They come with their support, and they come with little filters, and they come with all this research. And here, hold on, we'll swap pads again real quick. I'll leave the filters off this entirely. I hope you could actually do it like this when they're working. Oh, that one's stuck. Let's see how bad they leak with these pads. If you don't know, I do sound demos. For those people who somehow made it here without knowing, I do sound demos. And they'll be linked in the description. And I have the sound demo for this. And every sound demo, I'll usually take off the headphone, off the recording rig, and put on a block. And then put the block next to the recording rig because it's got microphones and you could hear it. But I recorded it with those because I like the sound on those better. And I want you to understand that you can get them to be quiet if you go with the more... But I can tell what's playing, but it's like... I better change that track before I get... So. Campfire. Much clap. Many claps to you. You get that wallpaper. That's an impressive feat. I saved that one specifically because of the little hearts. And I love these things. Now, convincing people to buy $800 headphones because they sound like IMs when you could buy IMs for $500-$600 or less, and they're probably going to fit your ears. Well, like I said, there's just different reasons to get both. And they're cool. Sound demo in the description. Wallpaper, her, in the description. There's links to these from their website in the description. I will link to something that is good because phone blocks. Because who doesn't need phone blocks? There you go. Guaranteed, I always link phone blocks now in the description because I tend to use them for everything. And on that note, I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the sound demo release of this. Put them on your list. If you didn't have a headphone on your list, a closed back headphone, even if they look like they're supposed to be like portable on-ears and they're not worth $800, they're worth it. They're fucking weird. They're weirdly good. That's the thing. Good headphones are good. Sendy Ivas are good. These are weirdly good because I don't know how they're doing it with the closeness and the magic with the soundstage. Because they sound very close, yet the soundstage goes up very far. The imaging is IEM imaging, which is usually not possible. And then the treble comes in and your nipples get so erect it cuts through your shirt. So, hi Campfire, thank you. Well, then not thanking you, I'm thanking the owner. Thanking you for putting the effort into trying to make a good set of headphones at this price point. Well, if you bring it back a little bit, you'll sell 1 trillion of them. Okay, I'll see you all tomorrow. Check out the Patreon. These will not be in the yard sale. Yard sale is 1st to the 10th. I'll answer your questions, and you get to see these reviews early, right? Right? Good. And also, $2 patrons get to get every wallpaper I've ever used, ever. There's a special link for all the wallpapers ever. That isn't worth a sale. I don't know what is. Okay, see you tomorrow for the sound demo, or if you want to skip and watch it tonight, it's in the description. Peace.